students, this is Ram Mohan, JLN History, Government Junior College, Kachigoda. Today, in our first year history, 11th chapter, Advent of Europeans. In this one, we are going to discuss how Europeans entered India in the name of trade and business, how they settled here, how they encroached here, and how they started their rule in India. And during the 17th century, the Mughal power had been declined. When Maratha power also gradually declined in western part of India, especially after Aurangzeb, if you observe, all are inefficient rulers, weak rulers. They did not control and prohibit the revolts arised in India. And not only that, the repeated Afghan invasions, which took place between 1736 to 42, repeated Afghan invasions also took place. And these are the situations were prevailed in India. And same time, industrial revolution took place in Europe continent. So many countries like Italy, Germany, England, Portugal, Spain, okay, and even France also. When industrial revolution had started in Europe continent, now they concentrated over the east part of Cape of Good Hope to increase their what we call their voyage to discover different parts of the especially the Asian continent, and they started here and many schools in the name of navigation also. And first of all, their concentration was grab here raw material, and they even concentrated many handicrafts, many especially the cotton and silk. Okay, so in the name of trade and business, first of all, they started the voyage, and especially the Portugal country was the first country which was chief responsible country, to develop the sea voyage, sea route, into the Asian or the east part of the Africa. In this, first of all, we are going to concentrate here early European trade. Moving to the early European trade here, Arabs already dominated the Asiatic region. Already they developed here the business, and they already developed the business relations with Asian countries also. So completely dominated by Arab merchants, and the Mediterranean Sea was completely dominated by Italians. Italians were well expert in in the knowledge of business and trade, but they did not share their knowledge with other European countries. So that they concentrated only the east part of the Europe. They did not they did not share their knowledge to the best European countries. So that the isolated, the west part of the Europe decided to establish a sea route to eastern countries. In that, meanwhile, in 1453, the Constantinople, which was occupied by Ottoman Turks, and they prohibited the entry of Europeans into Asian continent. This was the remarkable event which took place in 1453. So when they conquered Constantinople, now they stopped this land route. So now the European countries decided to establish or discover a sea route to India and Asian countries. In that, the Portugal country, first responsible country, or first take initiative to start the discovery. In that 1498, Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India. Okay, that is the early European settlement started. Okay, in India in 1498. Okay, so when Portuguese country entered or began the relations, okay, with Asia, it started by Vasco da Gama 1498 onwards. So when Portuguese people came to India and then followed by Dutch, later Danes, then English, afterwards French. So Portuguese, Dutch, Danes, English and French. Total 5 European countries came to India and settled, or they what you call concentrated the trade and business, and they started or established here trade centers in India. So even before Mughal rule started in India, the Portuguese entered. Okay, before Mughals, already Europeans entered. So 1498 was the year when the Europeans started entry into India. So Vasco da Gama from Portugal country, he started the voyage from Portugal to around the Cape of Good Hope, then moved to reach to the Calicut area when it was ruled by Jamarin, a native ruler of that part of India. He welcomed the Vasco da Gama and he gave permission to establish trade centers and do business. Later, whatever he he gained here, he got almost more than 60, okay, more than 60, percent or profits he gained from whatever he did in European continent. So when Vasco da Gama or Portugal country established a big route to India, it was followed and supported by other European countries. Into the first, how Portugal started here. First one, Henry, the Prince of Portugal country. Henry was the chief responsible person who started or who opened a school for navigation. So that he gave a title, or he was given a title, Prince of Navigator. So he supported the navigation, so that there was a school also established by Portugal country. Here Vasco da Gama in 1498 discovered sea route to India. So when he reached here, the native ruler Jamarin welcomed. And later they established a trade center in Kannur and Calicut area. And afterwards the Francisco de Almeida, he was the first governor of, okay, the Portuguese trade company in India. He was the first governor, Francisco de Almeida, and he observed here blue water policy to defeat the Arabs and Egyptians. Because already Arabs and Egyptians dominated the entire business and trade in the Asiatic region. So that to dominate the people, he observed here blue water policy. So in this here, he objected the entry of Arabs and Egyptian, okay, ships also. Okay, their ships also sunk by these Portugal people, and like that he maintained, okay, the different policies to control the activities of Arabs and Egyptians. Later, next general here, Alfonso de Albuquerque. So here he was the great governor general in Portuguese colonies in India. So here he invited or welcomed the Portuguese people to marry Indian women. So to make good relations with Indians, so that he encouraged here marry of Indian women. So by defeating Bijapur Sultan Adil Shah in 1510, he occupied Goa with the help of Sri Krishnadevaraya. Okay, he occupied the Goa from Bijapur Sultan in 1510. Now moving to the causes for the decline of the Portuguese power. You see, the Portuguese power established here by Vasco da Gama in 1498, and afterwards it was continued by different governor generals, but unfortunately their, okay, their glorious trade and commerce gradually declined day by day. So what are the reasons for their decay? for the decline of Portuguese power in India. So first one, cruelty of the Portuguese. The Portuguese people very cruel. So when they conquered the Indian parts, over the conquered people, they observed here cruel practices. And one more, religious intolerance. They were Christians. They always try to establish here, okay, the Christian religion missionaries. In the name of religion, they wanted to convert the Hindus into Christians. So their religious intolerance and the cruelty of their administration, and later rise of Dutch and English companies. When Dutch East India Company and English East India Company established here simultaneously, so the Portugal power declined. So what are the causes here? First one, cruelty of the Portuguese people. Second one, religious intolerance. Third one, rise of the Dutch and English. These are the three causes for the decline of the Portugal power. Now moving to the next one, the Dutch. Dutch East India Company established in 1602. First, they established a trade center in Machilipatnam, okay, and later Nagapatnam, Bhimilipatnam, Chinsura, Kashim Bazar, Pulicat, and Surat. Okay, these are the important centers of Dutch East India Company, and they defeated Portuguese and occupied Pulicat also, and they shifted the capital city from Pulicat to their trade center or trade capital from Pulicat to Nagapatnam also in 1689. And their main business were here spices initially. Later they concentrated to textile also and occupied Batavia and Indonesia, the two parts of the Asian continent here. And due to the over centralization of their power, but poor administration, these are the two big reasons for the decline of Dutch East India Company. Okay, Portugal also declined here. Later, the Dutch power also declined here because of over centralization and poor administration. Now moving to the third important, okay, company in India, that is English East India Company. 31st December 1600, when Elizabeth was ruling the entire UK, she gave permission to do business with Asian countries. Then the English East India Company, in the name of English East India Company, the private trade company started to come India. They took permission when Jahangir, the Mughal emperor Jahangir was ruling in 1605. They took permission, but to establish trade center in Surat. But unfortunately, okay, it was because of Portugal influence in the Mughal courts, it was stopped. Then they moved to Hyderabad. Here the Nizam, Nawab also gave permission to do business in Machilipatnam area in 1611. And they succeeded getting permission from Mughal Emperor Jahangir in 1615. So then they started business with the Indian merchant, that is 1615, when they started established a trade company in Surat. Then they started the expansion of their business with occupying Machilipatnam, of course Surat, Ahmedabad and Bharuch. These are the main centers of English East India Company in initial stage. Okay, first they got Machilipatnam, later Surat, afterwards Ahmedabad and Bharuch. These are the important centers of English. And moved to Bombay. Bombay, initially it was the center of Portugal. So when the British prince married here Portugal queen, so in the name of dowry, the Bombay, the trade center of Portugal was given to England. So English East India Company, okay, gained here Bombay Trade Center from Portugal. First governor in this Bombay area, Gerald Angier. Gerald Angier, governor of Bombay, he maintained here good relations and even he made free from Maratha power also, Maratha influence also from Bombay. So later Francis Day secured Madras from local chieftain Chandragiri in 1639 also. There they established here St. George Fort. Later they occupied Kadalur, Protonova, Vishakhapatnam. Even they got the rights to do free trade in Bengal 1691. In this, Hooghly, Kashim Bazar, Patna and other places also they occupied. And the important places here besides Bombay, Madras and Calcutta. Madras, Calcutta, now Bombay, three important chief centers occupied by English East India Company. Okay. So far, Portugal completed, Dutch next, English also completed. Now moving to the French. French also came to India and established a trade center. Okay, with the permission of the 14th Louis. 14th Louis was the king of France. He gave permission in 1664. So when French East India Company was started in 1668, in first they established a trade center in Surat. In 1669, Machilipatnam. 1674, Pondicherry. Then here the important Governor General Francis Martin, Dumas and Dupleix. So especially the Dupleix, he was the chief responsible for person to expand the French trade centers in India in 1720 to 1740. Okay, in this short gap, the French trade increased day by day. Okay, these are the four important trade centers established by Europeans: Portugal, Dutch, Danes, okay, English and French. Only four. Okay, later Dunes, the fifth one also there, but they didn't have any great importance, okay, in European trade centers. Now moving to the causes for Carnatic wars. Okay, so first political conflict was arising between the French power and English power. Okay, so what are the causes for Carnatic war? Now you see. First Carnatic area, first Marathas in 1740, they attacked the Karnataka region. Here the Nawab Dost Ali was killed, defeated and killed. And Chanda Sahib, son-in-law, was imprisoned. Safdar Ali, the son of or successor of Nawab Dost Ali, was, okay, he was also fled away. Total Karnataka, okay, area, the Karnataka region, the control of Maratha. In this situation, Hyderabad Nawab attacked Karnataka region and here he installed Sardar Ali as a king of Karnataka region and he made Anvaruddin as a regent because he was a minor Sardar Ali, so that he made Anvaruddin as a regent of the Karnataka region. So in this situation, political turmoil was prevailed in Karnataka region. This took advantage by French force and even British force also. So their conflict started over the Karnataka region. In India, first political conflict was arised by French and British power because of Karnataka. So they first interfere in the matters of Karnataka wars. First we see, first Karnataka war was started in the year 1746 to 1748. So simultaneously, there was a war between France and England in European continents also. That war name is Austrian War of Succession. So same here also the war took place between the French company and the British East India Company. So what is the main cause of the war? That is over the control of Madras area. So it was between the French power and Anvaruddin. Both Anvaruddin, okay, supported by Nizam Nawab, okay, he was installed by the Hyderabad Nizam because Safdar Ali was killed. So that Anvaruddin was the king of Karnataka region. So that first of all, the French interfere in the matters of Karnataka region and there was a conflict between the French power and the British power. So first the war started between the French power and Anvaruddin. So the war took place at Saint Thome area. Here also British supported here Anvaruddin and Aix-la-Chapelle, the treaty was occurred in Europe continent in 1748. The war was concluded. So, with the Aix-la-Chapelle treaty was stopped. This treaty was stopped here. The war of succession in Europe continent. Here also, first Karnataka war also stopped here. But the French supremacy over the Madras area, over the Karnataka region was installed here. And especially the Dupleix, the talent is a governor skills also, okay, are exhibited. And English, especially the English East India Company failed to defend Madras, okay, region. So first Karnataka war in 1746 to 1748, 2 years. And moving to now, Second Karnataka War. Second Karnataka War from 1748 to 1756. Here, the War of Succession in Hyderabad. In Hyderabad also, the first Nawab Nizam ul Mulk was killed. So uh, there was a war among the successors of Nizam ul Mulk here. So one Nazir Singh and Muzaffar Singh. Nazir Singh was the son of the Nizam ul Mulk. Muzaffar Singh was grandson of Nizam ul Mulk. So there was a conflict war between these two people, Nazir Singh and Muzaffar Singh. And in Karnataka also, Anwaruddin and Chanda Sahib. Okay, there was a conflict between the Anwaruddin and Chanda Sahib over Karnataka region, and between the Nazir Singh and Muzaffar Singh over the Hyderabad. So in this situation, Muzaffar Singh and Chanda Sahib were supported by French power, and Nazir Singh, Anwaruddin were given or encouraged by British power. So the first one, Battle of Ambur. Here, Anwaruddin, of course, Muzaffar Jung, the combined force of French army defeated here Anwaruddin, and even they killed also. And Anwaruddin's son installed as the king of the Karnataka region. Here also, Nazir Singh and Muzaffar Singh, the two successors of Nizam ul Mulk, both were killed here. And later, Salabat Singh, another son of Nizam ul Mulk, was installed as a king of Hyderabad. So, in this political turmoil, again, there was a conflict again, French power and British power. They started fighting, they started war over the Karnataka area. Finally, in Second Karnataka War, Robert Clive entered here. So, he showed the complete authority over the French army, okay, even the combined forces of Karnataka and Hyderabad also. So later, the Treaty of Pondicherry. Okay, with this treaty, the Second Karnataka War was concluded. So the war started 1748 to 1756. So this war was ended with the Treaty of Pondicherry. Now moving to Third Karnataka War. So Third Karnataka War started 1756 to 1763. Same in Europe continent also, the war was began versus French versus England. Here also, same French power with British power. So in Europe continent, the war name is the 7 Years War. Here also the war continued up to 7 years. The French forces were defeated very badly by the British force. Here Robert Clive, okay, and one more, Sir Eyrecourt. These are the two important people who motivated the British army and who expanded their army, okay, and who led the army into the several parts of the Karnataka region. And this one, especially the Vandy Wash War in January 1760, the French army was washed away, and they conquered here Puducherry or Pondicherry and Chandranagore from the France people. And with this, the Treaty of Paris in 1763, when the treaty was happened in Europe, Okay, with this treaty, the war was finished or war was concluded. In India also, with this treaty, the third Carnatic War was stopped. So with this, the French forces, of course, defeated very badly. The main reason was here lack of cooperation among the French generals. Okay, lack of cooperation. They were defeated. The French people, the French army was defeated very badly. So with this third Carnatic War, India, okay, witnessed here British supremacy over the majority part of India. So British supremacy was started with the defeat of French army in third Carnatic War. Now we are going to discuss causes for the failure of the French. What are the causes here? First of all, private and government. What is private? What is government? Now you see. British East India Company was a private company, whereas French East India Company was a government company. So that to take decisions immediately could not be practiced by French generals, whereas English East India Company took measures to control the French army and took decisions very immediately. Next one, the English Navy was very superior compared to other European powers. English already established, they proved here, okay, their strength in many wars across the Europe. That's what the English East India Company Navy was very superior. Moving to now, political and military generals. Okay, in French general, you see, Dupleix was more powerful. Okay, he was expert in warfare also, but by applying different methods to take some bad decisions here, he also one of the responsible person for the decline of the French power in India. But whereas here Robert Clive, he was the very talented person and already proved in as the administrator, and he participated in World War also. He participated many wars in Europe continent, so that his military strength, and his political power. Now he established here, occupying several forts, several trade centers of different, European powers in India. So now he became a more powerful person compared to French generals. Now moving to the fourth reason for the cause of failure, that is important centers. Already we have discussed Madras, Kolkata, and moving to Bombay. These were the three important trade centers were vested in the hands of the English East India Company. The three trade centers already established by European English East India Company, so that already they fortified their buildings, their forts here. Already military strength also increased here in these important centers. So when war was occurred here, when war was began here, immediately they deployed army. They are deployed here army general from place to place. So that is the main reason to defeat French people in three Carnatic wars. With this war, with this victory over the French people, now the Britishers, stand as a undisputed rulers in India. There was no, there was no opposition to the Britishers over in this Indian soil. Already the Dutch people, they sold their settlements, their trade centers to England in 1845. Even Portuguese also already they uh, moved to the only they what you call it, only they made Goa as a center of their activities. Remaining parts they left here, and moving to French now with these three Carnatic wars, they also left India. Only they concentrated Pondicherry. So Pondicherry for France, Goa for Portugal. Only two centers for these two European powers in India. Rest of the places, concentrated in English East India Company. This is the class of the four powers, the four European powers of India. The when they started their establishment from 1498 to up to Carnatic wars, we have studied so far. In next class, we are going to study Maratha wars and Anglo-Mysore wars. and their administration of English East India Company. Thank you.